I forgot about the bulb. Got ya. Belts have seen better days. Yeah, I'm basically putting new belts on here because I ordered some from Germany. They cost me like 15 quid. Really expensive, and they're not even the proper ones. The original belts that went into the drive mechanism were triangular. This was supposed to be a triangle belt in here, and it's the ones they sent me isn't. So. Well, that's all I can get these days. I'm talking about 70s and 80s and technology. I'm going to take the top of all this lot out in a minute. And the chat's not working, the live stream chat's broken tonight for some reason. So that's down. Right, more screws to come out. I've got belts in here, which is what I got from Gersbach Sound Technique, a Germany company. So that's what they sent me. Should be damn sight better than what I have in there right now. That's the belt that I need to put on underneath. So I'll go lift this lot out. I'll stick it underneath for now. And if I remember rightly, it's a pain in the ass to get this thing out. What the hell is that in there? Oh my god, it looks like a disintegrated. Oh yeah, it's a service manual or something. I forgot I put that in there. I'll leave it there for now. It's heavy. Where's the tongue? Remember right there, just take the black screws out. God, it must be 10 years since I had this out. Can't remember now. But I need to start it because the belts that are they're on the brink of snapping, and I use it to wind my coils on, you see. I wind my coils on the take-up spool, which is useful, and I want to see if I can get the reverse going again, because the reverse doesn't work at the moment because of the belt being too thin. So if I put the right belt on, I'm going to do that when I've done the rest, because let's see, I'm missing a screw somewhere. Which one do I take out now? Is it that one? Oh, it's this one here. found yet. So it's just 4 black screws that come out. Should lift up now. Yep. Oh god, this feels heavy compared to what it used to do. Jesus, I've forgotten how heavy this thing was. Something's stopping it. Hang on. Oh, it's that plug. Would help if I unplugged that. That's it. Oh, the wire needs to go threaded through a bit more. Minute. Damn it. Where's the wire going? It's over here. Come out. Hopefully I can get this out now. Right. I hope I don't find no spiders in here. It's sticking to my magnet on the speakers. Get this right way around. Stupid magnets! Oh my god, I've still got spare belts in here as well with the wrong size. I forgot to put them in there. Handy to have them there. I don't really want to be in the electronics section. I want to be over here, so actually over here. I'm going to have to turn this a bit. I want to get light on it so I can see what I'm doing. Losing me. Oh no! Where's that gone? Probably stuck to the magnet. I dropped a clip. A star washer. Where the hell is that gone? I was trying to put it back on. I'll worry about that in a minute. It's probably gone through the hole in the bottom actually. Let's have a look. I'll go lift this off. is right on the edge of the table. That's better. Let's see now. Oh, blame Schubert week, yeah. Blame Schubert for shortage of bananas because he eats them all before they get here. I'm still trying to figure out where that clip's gone. I'm worried that I'm going to find some nasty surprises in here, like spiders. Where the hell's that clip gone? It's probably stuck to the magnet, but I can't see it on the speaker. Oh well, bugger it. I just want to get this belt swapped out because this belt is about to snap. It's literally, it's very, very weak. It's about to break. And I noticed that because it was starting very slow. It was running the wrong speed as well. I'm just thinking a minute. I'll probably not be watching me anyway, so I'm gonna get this thing off. Probably need the other screwdriver for this actually. Alright, it'll work. I don't want to drop any more washers. And my lamp is blocking everything. It would appear, but I'm right on the edge of the table, so hang on, I'll move the table. This is heavy. Right, that's better. Okay. It's a shame, but this is not going to get recorded because the bloody live stream's down again as usual. Oh, I forgot about that washer. That's spacer. Right. I don't need to take that one off, just move it out of the way. It should go up here, but I'll bugger it. I'll just leave it like that for now. It's getting the belt off here that's the hard part. These I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, right. There's a lot of gears, belt drive gears down there, and can't get the camera on the right angle. Right, that's it, yeah. But it's a fiddly little job actually to get that belt off that lot down there. Right. So you get the idea. It's I can't leave the camera that close, I don't think, because I'm going to block myself off. Right. Ooh, wobbly. I'll have to do. Yeah, it's 70s. Yeah, I know, anyone wants it recorded, yeah, I know, it's... I've had this thing since the 70s, I think. It's built like a brick, it's built like a battleship, as they say. No, I can't remember. Oh yeah, it's this clip here I've got to take off, which is a pain in the ass. And this is when I need to have some magnets handy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these big neodymium magnets, right, and I'm going to put these neodymium, well, one of the neodymium magnets actually right next to this clip, because when the thing flies, the magnets will catch it. And that's the little trick I learned from experience, is if you don't want to lose your clips, use a magnet. If I can get the damn thing off. There we go, it's coming. Okay, I've got it on my magnet. It wants to stick to that other piece of metal more though. I'm looking for something to stick the magnet on now. There's a speaker magnet, and I really want something a bit bigger. Hang on. I want to stick this on. A bit of a stand. So I'm using a bit of one of my old lamination things where my laminations were cut off. I'm going to use it as a base so that my clip is secure and not going to get lost. I've got to remember the next step now. Yeah, it'd be about 1976, I think it was, somewhere around about 78, 77. Now, there's a screw I've got to loosen for this thing. Where is it? I've got now. I can't remember. Oh, there it is. That's the one. It's hiding in this bracket. Oh my god, it's bloody loose. I didn't even tighten the damn thing up. There's one on the other side, that's probably why I forgot. I missed it. Oh, it's a good thing I did come in here. Oh. I'm just going to loosen these. Basically all I need to do is get this bracket off this here high enough to get the belt around, and now I need to get this belt off because it's no good, it's had its day. Now it comes all the way around here, all the way up between these gears. This is the bit where you have to worry about cutting the belt in half. Oh, I know why. That's it. There we go. Right. That's the belt that was the wrong kind of belt. It's thin. It's flimsy. It's not the right belt. Right. I've got the belt off, which means I can get the other belt on. This is where the fun starts, because I've got to line up them things in there as well. So, if I remember rightly, it's this, yeah, there's only 3 belts. It's this medium sized belt, which is this one. There's a thicker one, there's a medium one, and a thin one, and it's the medium one that goes on here. Go around there. Go between these gears. Talk about a pain in the ass, this thing, you know it really is. Now, after we've got it between the gears, I've got to go all the way around here, under that bracket, onto the wheel. Oops, it came off. Where is it? Where's the end gone? I haven't got it on the pulley yet. It didn't snap, by the way. It was just knackered. It was the wrong kind. I only stuck it on temporary because I didn't have anything. I didn't have the right belt, so I was hoping for the best, and it did work for a while. Okay. Now I've got to line these up. That's the gear change thing. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little lever that sticks out, and it has to be in the middle when it's not being. Actually, no, it's not in the middle. It's supposed to be all the way around on an angle, because it moves the belt up onto a different pulley. And I'm not actually on the wrong gear right now, so I want to be in the middle gear, so I'll turn this. I want to get these gears meshed properly again. So I want to feel the thing at the back. It's not quite in the right. Right. We'll try again. That's it. changing gears. It's actually two gears, this machine. So it's changing gears when I click that. This is the thing that's attached to the speed gear, this. And that is bang on that. So I can get it back together now. I must remember to tighten these screws up, because last time I only tightened one of them. Silly me. I don't know, unless it come loose. Unless it came loose all by itself, I don't know. It might have done. Well, that's tight now. Now it's time to put the spacer back on here. Oh, drop the damn thing again. I'll put the screw in as well, I think. Right. I've been meaning to do this for months and months since I ordered these belts. I got them last year, actually, 2016, and I just couldn't be asked, because this job is just a pain. It's I didn't really need the reel to reel. I do play the tapes now and then, but it's mainly for winding my coils on. It's really handy. Right, that's back. I've got to put this clip back on now. So I'll get this clip off the magnet, reattach the magnet to that, just so it doesn't fly away. Right. I want my narrow nose pliers. I actually marked this last time, you know. I put some little, I wrote on it, that's why, to remind myself about what things want to be undone, because it just saves having to figure it all out again. Right, clips back on. Everything's back the way it was. I'll tell you what, they don't build motors like this anymore. Don't know if you can see it. They don't build motors like this anymore. I think it was probably made in UK or something. I'm just spinning it with my finger. Yeah, good old fashioned, well built motors, I tell you, they last forever. This motor's got to be, what? Let's see, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2010. Well, it's getting on for 50 years old, this motor. The whole thing is actually. If anybody's wondering what I'm doing, I'm just basically, while I've got this all open, I am just having to think about the volume control knobs on the top, whether or not they needed squirting with anything, but I don't think I've got anything to squirt them with. Apart from some WD-40, but I could use a bit of that, but it's not really ideal. It's better to use switch cleaner. But I've run out of that. So the volume control knob is basically at the top here. While I've got this all out, I could technically squirt some cleaner in there. These boards, you know, they're all germanium transistors, and these old electrolytics. I'm just gonna have a look at these as well, and they actually look pretty good. I'm going to just get some light on it. And there's nothing bulging. Ooh. See if I can keep the camera steady. Everything about this reel-to-reel looks healthy, except for the focus of the camera. Oh my god, I remember this. Audio transistors bolted directly onto the chassis. That's what that thing with the red wires coming out is. It's those are the audio transistors, left and right channels with the red wires coming out. They're just bolted straight on to this big black heatsink. Germanium transistors, of course, not silicon. Just get the camera back a bit. I've got to put this thing back together in a minute. Whew. Right, put my big. I need to find this clip. Do you remember I dropped the clip? No. I'm going to stick my magnets onto this metal plate. I'm going to see if I can fish it around the bottom of here. Never found no. Where the heck's that clip gone? Let's bring, that star washer. Hey up, I think I might have found it. Something down there. No, that's not it. I don't believe it. Where's it gone? It's probably gone on the floor actually. Knowing my luck, I picked up a lot of crap from the bottom of that chassis, which is one tip. That's about all. Right. Well, these are some belts that are left over, right? The new belts, right? That big thick one's for the top, so I'm going to hang on to that, and I'm going to see if that's going to fit as well. Still bothered by them. I don't like losing things. And oh, I bet you it's gone inside the speaker. I bet you it's inside the damn. I want to get my little torch. Oh. It's just easier than messing around with that. Great big lamp. It's probably in the speaker itself at the back. This is a beam, so it's a lot better for doing looking like. I found it. I can see it. I can see it now. It's not in the speaker. It's right underneath it. I'll get my screwdriver. I should be able to grab it with that. Here we go, I've got it. Oh, now now the speaker's got it. Right, okay, that's fine. I've got it sorted. I'm just going to have a bit of my coffee. Actually, what coffee? I'm going to have to make another one. Oh, I've only got a tiny bit left. Oh. Now I'm going to make a cup and then put this lot together. Well, I honestly, you know, I know everybody's into the digital age and everything, but I personally prefer analog. Analog is natural, it's more alive. I mean, you only have to sit and listen to a valve amplifier to know that there's a hell of a difference between a valve amplifier and then a transistorized or a MOSFET amplifier. The gap between them is just phenomenal. I mean, you know when you're listening to a valve amplifier, you can feel the warmth of it. It's got a warm sound. I mean, we used to have this gramophone player, Decca. In the 70s, it was given to us by an uncle, and it was a valve amp. And I tell you, it just sounded awesome, and I always felt like there was something missing when my dad decided to sell it, right? So he sold the Decca. It was a huge system. It was like the speaker was like stood right on the floor, and it was like waist height. It was like 3-4 foot tall, and it was about 2.5 feet deep, something like that. And it was very deep bass. It just sounded really, really good, and and the tubes in it. It had valves, everything, and you could see them glowing in the back. Because we were kids back then, so naturally we were curious, and as kids are. And but the only thing that was wrong with it was we keep getting electric shocks off it. That is probably the reason why my dad decided to sell it, because he came and wants to play a record and he got electric shock off it as well, and he said, well, I don't like that, it's dangerous. And well, we couldn't figure out what the problem was, because the wiring was right, but the neutral was connected to the right wires, and the live was connected to the right terminals and everything, but we just kept getting shocks off the damn thing. So he ended up selling it, and then we went and got some. That's why we got the reel. I got the reel-to-reel, and I got a radio. Actually, this is not the first reel-to-reel I got. I got one before that. I had another one in 1972, but it was a Philips, and it wasn't very good. It kept going wrong. The capstan on the thing was knackered, and we couldn't get another one, so I ended up getting another reel-to-reel. So I actually had three, I think. No, I actually had three reel-to-reels. This was the third one I got, and I think I had this up until 1976, 77. Because after 1977, I moved to cassette. That was when cassette was really sort of taking over, around about that time, and everyone was moving over to cassette tape decks. And so I ended up with a cassette tape stereo hi-fi, which was second-hand from a second-hand shop, and my reel-to-reel was there still, and it just ended up in the back of the cupboard. Because it's so big, you couldn't exactly hide it, but you could use it as a plateau to put other things on top of. So I was able to put TV on top of it, and when I'm not using it, and you could use it to put other things on. Well, a lot of things you just can't do that, because it has a nice flat lid on it, and it looks like a piece of furniture really, and well, there was just something about all this old stuff back then, and it's kind of followed me around ever since then. everywhere I've been, it's been with me. So I think that's this gears. I have to make sure that the switches. Actually, I've just noticed at the bottom there's a switch. When I flick this, that has to flick that switch properly. And actually, looking at this, I put a little arrow on right there, and that arrow is pointing at this core, which I put a little red dot on. So that is right. I've got this in the right position, and that's something I could have overlooked because it moves this switch. There's a switch at the bottom here that it turns the tone controls up and down depending on the speed you're on. So when I move this lever, if you watch this switch down here, you'll see that switch moves. So that's in the right position. So that's something else I'm glad I double checked on. And the writing actually lines up because I've put writing across this gear and it's all parallel to this writing here. So I wrote all of that at the same time, so it's all at the same angle. So that's perfectly on on alignment. And I'm going to go and make a copy. hide, I'm using it to help my project. Oh, he's gone for his nap. Yeah, I've got the belt underneath is replaced, but I've got to sort out the belts at the top. I'm just waiting for this kettle, and I'm gonna flip the whole thing over and put the screws back in, then sort the top out, because there's only one belt that goes underneath. The other belts are on top. And I just wanted to get the bottom sorted first because it's the hardest part. I mean, I've got to lift this thing, it's heavy. I figure I'll use my strength to do this bit first, my energy. And I'm just curious about these coils actually on this transformer, on this motor, just checking them. Oh, they look good, they look healthy. Covered in muck on this motor, mate, but I don't suppose I've got that on the camera right now, but yes, yeah, I'm just going to pour that out. Yeah, they seem to have a lot of trouble with live stream at the weekends. I don't know why, but it's every Sunday it seems to be down. I just don't know why. Anyway, what I'm going to get is some isopropyl alcohol, because I haven't got any switch cleaner, and I don't really like the idea of sticking WD-40 in these pots, so I think the next best thing is a little bit isopropyl alcohol just to flush the tracks out. Won't do any harm. It evaporates very quick as well, so I'm going to fill a syringe with some of that. I've got to find the damn thing. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, there they are. Found them. Yeah, I'm just going to put a bit of this in my syringe, and it should help, because these pots are a bit noisy, I noticed before. They don't get this damn thing in far enough. Yeah, I've got enough out, that'll do. There's about 8 mils. 8 millilitres, I think that's more than enough, really. Yeah, you have to forgive me, I have to keep flicking backwards and forwards between the chat and stuff, and I'll try and get the camera a bit higher. Right, I have to squirt it in these little holes. There's some holes in these pots, and I have to twiddle the knobs at the back to ease them off a bit, because it's definitely gone in there. It's turning easier. I'll do the other one. I don't know if I'm actually getting in there, but it feels like I am. Yeah. They were very really sticky. Right at the end. It's turning a lot easier now. The volume control also wants some. There's a main switch there, so I need to watch out for that. It's not plugged in yet though. That's that one done. Now I'll put this right the way up. That'll dry off pretty quick actually. I've still got about 2 mils left. Oh. Well, I was trying to have a nap, Shubas, but where did Alan disappear to? That's weird. He posted a comment. Oh, he's still there? Oh yeah, I can see you at the bottom. Yeah, yeah, I saw you at the bottom. Yeah, you're right. Your name's in grey writing. I could hardly see it. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, I was right. I don't know why your nickname was in grey. Yeah, I'm just catching my breath because I didn't sleep well last night, and I didn't feel like doing this today, but I figured I went to bed and I tried to get another nap, and I just couldn't sleep because the flipping neighbours decided to have a wash day today, and they had the washing machine going, and I thought I can't win, so I decided bugger it, I'm going to get this damn wheel to wheel sorted out. I want to get it out of the way. Right, now we're going to put this thing back the way it was. It's filthy down there, but I'm not going to bother cleaning it out because it just collects muck as fast as you clean it out. This is really heavy. This must weigh 3 kilograms or 4 kilograms. And I'm going to trap my finger like I usually do because I remembered this thing. I always get my fingers trapped in it. Something's not going down right. There, got it. These clips that the screws go in, they tend to shift. I don't know what that is. I think that's the diagram. I'm not going to bother opening it. I just don't want to know right now. I just want to get these screws back in. Because now it's a case of this belt, which is easy, and this other belt over here, which is, oh, you can't quite see that right now. This one down here. It goes across this bush here, and that's, if I remember rightly, it's fiddly, but it's not too difficult. Oh yeah, I've got to take a spring off, that's what. I've got to take these springs off to get that belt off there, remember now. Anyway, screws first. I need to get this thing lined up properly though, because it's not lined up with the holes. That's it. It's a way to line them up. It kind of makes you laugh though that some of these parts on this reel-to-reel, like the spindle part here, is probably the size or the mass of a mobile phone today. Just one spindle. I nearly lost my washer again. Right, I'm just going to turn this lot around a bit now. I'll move the camera back. Oh shit! Ah, sorry about that. The camera fell over. What is wrong with this camera? Right. It just wants to keep leaning. It's a gooseneck, it's just doing my head in. Right. Now it's this belt now. And the reason why the rewind doesn't work is because this belt is so tiny. Hang on, I'll try and show you a bit. If I don't mess this up again. The reason this belt doesn't work, rewind doesn't work, is this pulley, which I had to make a new one of. Hang on. This pulley here, I had to make a new one, and it doesn't quite reach that other pulley down there because it rests on the belt, which is going on that pulley. So the belt is too small, so the pulley can't reach the pulley. This pulley can't reach that belt because it's the belt's thickness. So hopefully this other new belt will sort that problem out. What's wrong with this camera? Stop falling over on me. It's top heavy, this thing. It just leans all the time. It's like it's about to fall over, it's drunk. Oh. I'll have to check the chat again. about the belts, Alan, I actually searched on on eBay for the model number of my reel-to-reel, which is a 44. Oh, hang on, the thing's over there. It's a Philips 44. Hang on, I've forgotten myself now. Oh, it's on this. It's on the receipt anyway. It's Philips N4404, right? And I searched on eBay and I found it. Oh, it cost me £18.55. I was at €18 and 50. It's not cheap. It was bloody expensive. So I have to go back to the preview window so I can see that the camera is pointing at what I want to be looking at when I'm filming. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll move the camera around the back. Maybe you'll get a better view of what I'm doing. I'll try. Hopefully the table will stop the camera from falling over as well. Right. Yeah, that's better. I'll just get this camera in the right place. But it might be in the way though now. I might have a job getting that belt out if the camera's right over the... I'll have to move it back a bit. Just a minute. Right, that's better. That's a better angle, isn't it? You can see what I'm doing there. That's where the belt... That's the tricky part. I've got to take the springs off here, so... Right, I'm going to unhook these springs. I'm going to get my tweezers. I'm going to get the spring off there, like that. I'll take this spring off here. If I can get it. Oh. Right, that's the other spring off. Now I've got to get this belt off here. Oh, will it go around that back? Yeah, it will go around back of there. Actually, this belt is very, very dried off. It could even break on me while I'm doing this because it feels dry. It's very readily. I really want to pull it out a bit. Up there. Right, well, hooked on there now. Right, I've got that off there. Now the belt's got to go under that thing down here, all the way to the bottom, which is a pain. I've got to come around this clamp, you see. It's another tweezer thing, I think. Right, hang on. I'm just going to push it down. I need to put my fan on boiling. It just makes you work up a sweat because it's so hard and difficult to get these things out. I have to bend this a little bit to get it off. I have to engage something. That's it. That's it. That's to get this loose. That's what it is. Right. That's remember now. I had to press fast forward to get that belt on there. Now the next phase, which is over here. which is around here. I've got to take this belt off here. This is the one for the counter. That's going to be the last job because it's dried up. You can tell it's misshaped. It's not going back the way it used to be. It's all misshaped. Got a crook in it. So now I've got to get this off here. It is a pain, but we'll get there. Now I've got to work this around this lever underneath. Then I've got to come around. Oh, it's really fiddly. Actually no, I'd go down, underneath, up, and between these two. Oh, you can't really see properly. I'll lift the camera up a bit more. I'll bring the light up. That should work. Okay. Right, well, and then over the top of this, lift the spring up, and it's off. All that just to get that belt out. And it's still in one piece, look. I never snapped it. Right. So putting this other belt on is going to be fun because it's actually a lot thicker. And that's what I want, because the reason it didn't work properly before was the belt was too thin. This one is a lot thicker, and it's the proper thickness. So we reverse everything we just did. Let me just get this camera a bit more up. Is this the right height there? Where are we? That's where we are. Oh, the camera is right behind that. Hang on. Maybe that's better. Angle. Yeah, that's better. Right. So it's back over here. Underneath this thing. It's a pain because it's thick. And I tell you, this is really confusing because I won't remember how to do it now. I've just taken the damn thing off, and I'm already having trouble remembering what I just did. Right. Okay, it's through between this brush. Well, lift that brush thing up because it's in the way. Go down here, round the back of this bracket. Without nipping the rubber. Right, that's it. It goes round there. Underneath that, there's a little belt thing. There's like there's a bracket that's shaped like a hook. Right, it comes like a C, and then it comes round, and the belt has to go underneath into a slot, and then up into this little capture area. It actually stops the belt from falling into any working other parts or whatever, I think. I cannot get that. Got it! I got it! Yay! I actually got that in. So, that goes round. around that pulley there. Now is the tricky part is over here again, so I need to rotate the camera over here just a minute. So now it's basically reversing everything I did over here. It's around this bracket. I'll try rewind. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I can get it under there, I think. Fast forward is probably the best saying. Just have to get it right underneath that. That leg that's sticking up. I'll have to bend it a very slight amount. Got it. Got it. Right. Oh God, this is such. It is very stressful. Actually, my back is killing me. It's just leaning over the damn thing. It's killing me. My back is really not very good. Now, this belt actually feels tighter than a lot tighter than the original one used to be. I remember it years ago, but I think it'll work. It'll do the job. I'll just hook the motors up to the job because it feels like it's quite tight, really. I hope it doesn't run slow. Right, I'm going to get it over that hook on the end without ripping the belt. That's gone on. Now it's under that. Underneath there. Up. Get on the pulley. On the little brushes. Onto that pulley there. I think we've got it. And now I've got to put the springs back. Oh, the belt's just come off. Huh? Oh. Ah, it's on now. Oh, God. Oh, thank God for that. Springs back now. I'll just check China. Yeah, it's an N4404. Oh, Amazon has them, I see. Oh, cool. Let me just check because it might actually be the proper ones. Because the ones I got were cheap. They were just equivalents. Oh, that price actually looks better than what I paid. That's in dollars though. Have a look. You see, the actual main drive belt's supposed to be triangular. It's supposed to be a triangular belt for the actual drive because it actually a pulley rides on its back. I don't know if those photographs are actually the belts that they're supplying or if they're just there for if that photo is just what you call it, generic, not the actual item. But yeah, I probably won't be kicking around much longer anyway. I don't give a shit. These belts should last me because I don't use it very much and it's mostly kept the lids on most of the time. I mean, the last lot of belts I put on was over 10 years ago, right? And they've lasted for like 10 years without much deterioration. So I'm pretty confident that these replacements are going to last until what? I'll probably be 67 if I'm still alive. So I don't think I'm going to be around that long. Yeah, I don't care anyway. I mean, as long as it works. Now I'll get these springs back on. I need something pointy now. Compass, that should work. If I just get this compass into the spring. It's just putting them back is not as easy as getting them off, you see. That's one. Does it come into contact with that rubber wheel? That's what I want to know. That's fast forward. That one is. Oh, yeah, it was fast forward I think that wasn't working. So it's just started to come into contact with this wheel now, which I wasn't getting before. Now, there's something else I was thinking about earlier today. About this wheel. When I originally made a new wheel for this, right, I used some old rubber grommets, right, to make this rubber wheel. Now, I can actually make a new wheel now using our silicone rubber, and I might actually take this thing off sometime. And I'm thinking what I could do is, because this rubber wheel, right, it's about the right size, but it's a bit under, what I could actually do is take the rubber wheel off this spindle, wrap some tape around the outside of the rubber wheel, right, until it's a little bit bigger, so it's about, what, an extra 1mm, 2mm circumference around, right, directly across, right. Then I could make the opposite of a silicone mould, which is a resin mould, right. I could put this into a container, pour resin around it, right. When the resin sets, pull this rubber out because it won't stick to resin anyway. Then I can actually get the insert, right, the insert that's already on this rubber, take this old rubber off, put the insert into the actual mould, you know, the resin thing, then I pour new fresh silicone rubber around it to make a new rubber tyre. But then I would have a new rubber wheel, because this rubber, it's rock hard. It is rock hard, it's just no good. I don't know if you can hear that. That's the metal bit, that's the rubber. The rubber is very hard, it's just had it, it's no good. This rubber here, this huge wheel, would probably cost me an arm and leg to buy a new one. Yeah, I might be paying like 10-15 quid for a new one because it's a special one. So making a new rubber tyre is probably the best thing I could do. And I think I might actually do that. In fact, I'm probably going to leave this apart actually, and tomorrow I might actually have a go at doing that, because while it's apart I might as well, because it's not easy, it's not hard to get this wheel out, it's a fairly straightforward thing. But you see, at the time when I previously repaired this and put belts on it, we didn't have the technology, as to say Steve Austin, now we have the technology. So we can use some silicone rubber to actually do it. And I'll get this other spring on. I think I can use my tweezers on this one. Oh! Ah, damn it. It keeps jumping out of my hands. Nearly there. I'm going to have to use my compass, I think. Nearly. Getting them back in is always a hard part. and it's nipping me, it's bloody pinching. I got you. It's in. Right, now let's see if this grips. It's hard though, the rubber, so it's not going to do a very good job. But it does work. It didn't work at all before. Actually, it is starting to grip now. It's starting to bite a little bit. Maybe it was just a bit waxy on the outside of that rubber. So fast forward is going to work by the looks of it. And let's try rewind. I'm going to put power on in a minute. Right, rewind. Yeah, that works easy. I'm just turning the spool and it's so I'll back the camera up a bit so you can see more of it. I'm going to plug it in actually and we're going to try it. I'll just go and get the power lead, and I need to put the little belt on for this as well. Well, that's easy. Right, it's got a new counter belt on as well. Right, that camera's still too close. Right. Get this angle. It keeps the camera keeps flopping on me. Right, I'm going to plug power in. I'm going to run it on my inverter actually. Oh. So, wires died down there. I'm going to need to put some I'm going to need some knobs on here because let's see, how's in the middle? That one wants to be right in the middle, so let me just get this set right. I'm not putting the panel on. That's the panel. Let's put it down fully. And that's the power on and off on the volume. Right, so it's running. I'm just easing this off. It's working. Let's try fast forward. Oh yeah, it's working. It is working alright. I'll just put an empty spool on there. I just want to put a little bit of labour force on it, just so that it can bed in a bit, because this hasn't wound for a long time. I'm going to put a bit of effort on it. Oh God, it's hot. Seems to be working fine. Those bearing sound is a bit dry. I probably need to put some lubricant down on them as well. Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad. Let me find a decent tape to play so you can hear what it sounds like as well. Hang on. Let me just find a little tape to play. I've got some recording at high speed, you see, I'm looking for that. They don't find the damn thing. Ah. I had to find my step ladder. I shouldn't be going up ladders. I'm looking for my Elite one. Oh, how's that one? Oh, shit. I want to check the speed. Now what was that fell down? Oh, it was a frog. My goodness frog. Oh, I suppose this tape will have to do for now. I've been moving stuff around and I can't find anything. Oh, that's probably because I'm running on the inverter right now. I'm actually running this reel-to-reel off my inverter. It uses about an amp. I'm not running it on full mains. Right, let's. Oh, the speed might be wrong. Maybe they're all right. I'll find out in a minute. I'm not going to put the rest of it together yet because I just want to test things. It's a lot safer actually running off the inverter when you're doing all this, right? Because it's not connected directly to the mains. Right. I'm probably at the wrong speed. Yeah, it's running a little bit slow, but I suspect that'll run in because the belts are tight. I think with the belts being new, they're a little bit tighter. And if I remember, back in the 70s, it always used to run a little bit slow when you put new belts on these things. After a few weeks, the belts would stretch and things would equalise, you know. Well, that light is actually yellow to me. That light is yellow. It's an ordinary incandescent bulb. So I have no idea why the camera's showing purple. I just don't know. Because it's an ordinary incandescent bulb. I'll show you. Just a screw-in bulb. If I can get the damn thing back in now. Oh! Yeah, it was my test tape. This I only use this tape for doing short tests, and it's perfect for doing that really. It's not too long. You know, it's surprising me, but back in the 70s, so many people had such a lot of trouble threading a reel-to-reel. I could do it fairly easily. Now I'm talking about it, I'm making mess ups. That's typical. The brakes are pretty tight on here. God, the pause was totally stuck. I couldn't get the pause button down, it was just stuck. It needs a bit of lube on this thing. No, they're not lossless, obviously. The more times you put a recording, if you get two reel-to-reels and you record on one reel-to-reel and then it loops the tape round onto the other one and then it plays that back and it records off the previously played back one back onto the recording, and it goes around, and eventually the sound is just unrecognisable. I actually did that test once. I had two reels to reels at one point, and I ran the tapes through two machines, recorded the sound from the first machine onto the second machine. The second machine the tape went round, played back on the first machine, and the first machine played that back into the second machine, which recorded it again, and I had it going round and round and round, and eventually the audio was just completely unrecognisable. It just sounded like a wash of noise, you know. Let's do the track. Don't forget, this is 4 track, so I'll put it on the other track. I just wanted to run it for a bit, just to get it eased off, because it's been stood a while. Because I wanted to see if the speed gets back to normal. And it does seem to be. It seems to be settling down a bit. The speed seems to be coming back to where it should be. I mean, those songs sound more like the right speed to me now. There's a little bit of stickiness on this take-up spool though. It keeps looping out on me. You said you liked that light, so... There you go. It's just a yellow light here. I don't know why the camera's showing it up that colour. So, in case you couldn't hear what I said, my counter has a broken gear. I've just noticed. It was fine earlier, but... that's interesting. So, one of the plastic gears has a piece missing out of it. And I don't understand how that got broke because I never went near there. Oh, I did actually go down there when I was putting this belt on, so I might have caught the rub. I might have actually caught that gear. But it looks like I'm going to have to find a new gear for that now. Actually, it's not going to be a big problem because most of the teeth are still on it, so technically I could make a gear out of resin. I could make a silicone mould, but I'd have to do it in 2 halves because part of it's broken, so I'd have to make 2 halves of the gear. Or I could look in my toolbox and see if there's any gears. Yeah, what the hell happened to that? I just don't know. I don't know how that... Because I can't see any... I can't see... I never used the counter much anyway, to be honest with you, but... Oh my god, the other one's got a chunk missing out of it as well. What the hell happened to this? that's been broken a long time because there's like this oh my god, the plastic is disintegrating. It is just disintegrating. It's crumbling. The plastic on this little gear down here, you probably can't see it. Let me see if you can actually see that. Try the bottom of my screwdriver down underneath here. Oh, you can't see that. Let me just get the camera on it. Right. Down there, the white gear, it looks like it's going powdery. Oh, it's out of focus. This camera doesn't focus. Right, it's right underneath where you can see a chunk of gear missing. Right down here. There's a piece of gear missing right behind that screwdriver. Oh dear. Oh well. I tell you, there are some parts on this machine that are starting to disintegrate. Well, what do you expect after 40 years? So I'm probably going to have to make some new gears or something, I don't know. I've probably got something lying around that will probably work actually. But, I don't really use it to counter, to be honest. I used to do when I used to record stuff. I used to mark on the tapes what the index number was, but if there's no index numbers on most of my tapes now anyway, so can't really use it, but it's a shame that. So I'll put this new belt on, and it's a waste of time because the cogs are broken. Well, one more side, and then I'm gonna, I don't know, put this. I might put this back together and do that rubber, because that rubber wheel is actually not too bad. It's working, so I might leave that. But I'm still gonna have to think about these cogs, because these cogs are broken. So I'm gonna have to see if I can find. I'll see if I can find some online actually. I wish Russ would come on tonight. I don't know where he is. It's Sunday. Probably 4. I'm blocking the camera now, sorry. It'd be 4:15 PM, so it's a bit early for us. It should be on soon. Maybe. God, this brake is tight. At least I've got fast forward back, which is something, because I was really missing fast forward. I mean, I should have, let's see. Yeah. Let's see about rewind. Yeah. I've got fast forward and rewind back, which is absolutely awesome. I've been without fast forward for a long time, and it's been really annoying because I've had to take the tapes off and swap them around just to wind the tape the other direction, which has been a real drag. But now I don't have to I don't know if you're listening to, if you're hearing me, Mystic Weaver, but I don't know, to be honest with you. YouTube, you can actually go on Russ's YouTube channel and sort it by oldest first, which is probably the best way of doing it, and then scroll forwards. That way, if it's 5 or 6 years old, then you might be more likely to find what it is you're looking for. Well, end of test. Oh my god, I've got some slippage on my capstan. No worries. Oh, it's just that front. It's stuck right in there. I noticed some speed variations, and that's a little bit worrying, but it's probably just some stickiness on the tape, or possibly capstan slippage, I don't know. I'm just hoping it's nothing major. So, at least it's working. It's always a bit risky though, running a machine that's been stood a long time, because what happens is the germanium transistors deteriorate over the years, and the electrolytics also deteriorate over the years, and so as you start to zap them with energy and power, it usually just throws them off the edge and over the edge, and they usually fail. But having said that, it's 40 years old, and the older something gets, generally speaking, as a rule of thumb, if it hasn't suffered any major faults in 40 years, then there's no reason to assume it's going to suffer any major faults in another 10 years. It's all about laws of probability, all that nonsense. They always say that when you buy a new CD player, if it's going to fail, it'll usually fail within the first 12 months. If it survives 12 months, it's got a 60% chance of surviving another year after a year. It's maybe got an 80% chance of surviving 3 years. But generally speaking, after 10 years, most things go kaput. But this thing's 40 years old, so they used to make stuff a lot better back then, and it's not Chinese and cheap components in it. A lot of this stuff in here was actually British components, General Electric, whatever you call it. What do you call it? I'm getting the names of all these components now, actually. What's it? ITC or something, or is it? God, can't remember a lot of them now. Oh, mine's gone wonky. Anyway, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to put the thing back together, I think, because them cogs, there's some gears broken, and taking the knobs, every time I take these knobs off, I'm worried that they're going to break because they're so old. The plastic is very brittle, actually. But so far so good. I don't see any fractures in the plastic, so that's a good sign. Getting replacement knobs like this now will be very difficult. Very, very difficult, because they're extended you would probably have to make one, you know, because most knobs you buy, they're usually short and stubby, they're about this high, you know, with a top hat. But these were actually 3 times longer, so you wouldn't reach all the way down. I suppose you could get some new volume controls with longer shafts on them and do that, but who wants to do that when it's original? Yeah, I'm going to put this back together because that way there's no risk of me losing anything or stepping on something. I would rather have it back together than leave something lying around and then step on it and say, damn it, I wish I'd put that back together again. You know? And there's no reason for me not to right now, because everything's working. And there's a lot of black goo on here. That's off the belts, the previous belts that just melted for some reason. I had some belts laid on here, and you can't see it on the camera though, but actually acetone will get that off easy. Actually, I might even clean that while I'm at it. I think I will, because I remember previously I had a hell of a job. I couldn't find anything that would dissolve it, but acetone will certainly dissolve that muck. And I'll try and get the camera on it, what I'm looking at if I can. That goo, that black goo, is rubber that has melted. I'm going to melt it with this acetone and clean it. Right, tissue paper. I'm very careful I won't destroy anything else. I'm going to stick some tissue in. I don't want it going all over the place. Oh yeah, that's getting it. Definitely getting it. Smudging it a bit though. Oh, Jesus. I remember this stuff getting on my hands and it doesn't come off very easily. That's part of the reason why I want to get it off, because it might be dry, it might have gone hard now, but there's always a potential with oil near it that it will melt again and get on my clothes. And I do work on this occasionally, so I think I'm going to get a cotton bud actually. Just look at the state of that. I've got most of it off, it's just I think I'll just carry on for a bit longer. There's still quite a lot on there, but I think I'll finish off with a cotton bud. can't get in very well. I think it's time for a new piece of tissue. Talk about a mess. It's not going to run down anywhere there. I'll just let that soak a second or two. Wow. That's really bad. Much better. I'm glad to get rid of that mess because it was an eyesore. Even though it's outside our mind, it's still in my mind. That'll do. I cotton bud around the rest of that should take care of what's left. Can't believe how black that is. It was a lot of rubber, that. I mean, it looks like ink, but it's not. It's rubber, melted rubber. So, I don't know about that cog. have to do. I've already got a bit of black on my hand. It'll wash off, but not much. I need to put this thing back around, I think. Oh, camera in the way. That's typical. I'm going to drop screws in this thing in a minute. Damn it. This camera can go over there out of the way. I've got to plug the power lead back into this. Oh, actually this can go on last, I think. I think it actually hooks in. Yeah, remember. No, I'll put this top piece on last. I'm going to plug the power leads back onto this thing, this meter. Red, black. Everything's colour coded. It's written on the case. It says it actually tells you what goes where, which is really nice. You've got to love Philips. You know, they used to make some good stuff. Even the output speakers on the circuit board are marked inside. So that's that one there. I'll put the lid back on. And then I'll put all the screws in. I used to actually screw this silver bezel in place first, and then I found out later that it's always best to do them all together because it locks together, and if you screw this in the wrong place it doesn't kind of sit properly, and then your screws are, these holes aren't lined up. Well, that's definitely lined up, so I can sit down and leisurely put these screws in now. Yeah, I've had this bloody thing since I was a child. Oh my god. I kind of got used to it, but memory sometimes fails, and there's not. It's one of the best. This particular model is one of the best models around. It was not the best quality sound by any means, but it was the most robust model Well, you only have to let it survive the times, survive 40 years without any major catastrophe. And I think even the record playback heads are original as well. A lot of earlier models of Philips, actually, they had a lot of problems. There was one particular one, I can't remember the model number now because it was too long ago, and it's long since gone to the recycling tip. But it had this problem with the capstan drive. The aluminium capstan, the bearings were always giving, the brass bushings of the bearings, always causing problems. They were rattling and you had to get replacements every so often. It was constantly wearing out. There was a lot of pressure on the mechanism. This model is the opposite. It's just very well. I think I've got the screws wrong way around. There's a long screw I want. Where's the long screw gone? One of these screws is a long one. I'm messed up. That's not. I've got my screws mixed up. That's not a long one. I've got to take them out again because I forgot about that. That's not a long one. I'm just taking them out again. One's a long one. Which one is it? Ah, that's weird. So why isn't this reaching? Oh, it is reaching now. Okay, it's in. Just seemed a bit short for some reason. I couldn't remember that being a problem before. I know that sometimes, you know, these screws are, you've got long ones and you've got short ones. Oh, I know what I'm doing now. This goes on first. And I put the screw in. I think this is the gear change. Yep. Speed. No, this is track. Yeah. That's track. Now I think one of these is different. Red. Oh, they're all same. I thought one of them was different, but maybe I'm thinking of a different machine. All done. Handle works as well. Time to put the cables back in the little box at the back. There's a little compartment at the back where all accessory cables go. I think I'm not going to chuck these old belts though. I'm going to stick these in the paper because I know that they fit, and the good measurements if ever a belt snaps. I've got the circumference, the actual diameter with those belts, so I'm going to leave them in there. Trying to get this one. Sorry about the noise. What the heck is this? Oh, I was going to get some belts made, I remember now. I was going to get them to make me some, but I ended up getting some off eBay. Oh, wow. I think it was running slow because I was running it on the inverter anyway, so that explains a few things. So look at the voltages down on the selector. I think I was running at 220 and this is set to 240. No wonder it was running a bit slow. Put this back in there. I think it's in. Yeah. Panels back. Put them tapes back on there. God, my back is really stiff now. And of course this is vertical as well as horizontal, so that's why it's got the fasteners on it. So technically speaking, it operates this way up as well. Because when these are fastened, they're supposed to fall off. And I'm going to plug it into the mains, proper mains, just to give it another run. If I can find a socket. I'll have to use my lamp socket, I think. If it'll reach. Oh God, it doesn't reach. That's typical. I think I'll go get an extension lead, so I just wanted to test it on fast forward. Right, I've got the extension lead, which I can run it off the popper mains instead of off the inverter, and can't find the hole. I basically want to test fast forward, rewind, and just to make sure it's actually all good on this big tape. Right. Making a little bit of a noise. Probably because it's on its side. Let's just see if fast forward works. Oh yeah, I've got to watch out for that brake though. Brakes are a good bit manky. Gear changes work.
That is Selina Scott, star of Breakfast Time. Good morning, Selina.
Hello, David. How are you?
Very well. How's the weather in London?
It's a beautiful day. It's so hot and sunny. It's good. I'm going to go outside and sunbathe soon.
Right,
I feel sorry for you, but I'm pleased that you got on the air and you sound bright, and the Everly Brothers are coming over loud and clear
Are
too.
they? Reaching London as well?
Yes, that's right.
You have a very, I suppose, a tenuous link with North Yorkshire. You were actually born in Scarborough, even though you didn't stay there very long. Is
That's
that right?
right. In and out of the maternity hospital, or my mother was, within
Yes.
about, I don't know, however long it took to have me.
We won't mention how many years ago, because that's not the done thing, is
Well,
it?
no,
Yeah.
but my parents now live at Appleton Le Moors.
So you get up to North Yorkshire, do you?
Oh, quite a lot, yes. Yes, I do go home a lot.
You like North Yorkshire?
Love it.
Compared with living down in London.
Oh, yes, it's the one thing that makes life sane and good, isn't it? To get out of London occasionally. I noticed, actually, that you said come down to London. And most people down here say they're going up to London.
Yes.
I can't quite make out why it is or how it is, but that's the way things are said down here.
You sound bright and cheerful, but you've been up since when?
Oh, since 3 o'clock this morning.
So your body clock is all over the place, isn't it?
Yes, I know, but you don't know what you're missing at 4 o'clock. The sun comes out at 4 down here. It's good.
It must be better than when you started back in February, with the lovely summer mornings now.
Oh, it's far better. It's rather like honey now. The programme has settled down, and everyone has settled down, and we're enjoying it. But at the beginning, it was agony.
Do you remember much of day one? I mean, our day one up here, we've got plants and cards and even a bottle of champagne or three kicking about. I mean, do you remember, was it the same for you?
Yes, it was exactly the same. Did you open your bottle of champagne this morning?
No, they're saving it for me, for afterwards.
When do you finish?
I finish at 1 o'clock, so I've got the champagne waiting for me at 1.
Oh, it'll be lovely for you.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we had the same thing. We had a great big bottle of champagne, which was shaken before we went on air. And by the time we'd finished 2.5 hours of live programming, it was blowing its top. And it blew its top at the very end, and I'm sure a lot of people saw it go off on air.
That's right, yes.
It hit me on the back of the head as though it was a flying bullet. I thought
that
was the end of me.
And Breakfast Time has been very successful. Did you think on day one, yes, we're going to make it?
Oh, yes. Yes, I did. I wouldn't have moved from ITN if I hadn't thought that. A lot of people felt it was the silliest thing for anyone to do, to move.
Anyway, I'm going to try my fast forward and rewind all the way through. Normally it gets stuck when it gets to the end nearly, but hopefully there's going to be enough friction there now. If that rubber wheel doesn't grip properly, then I'll probably have to make a new one, but that's why I'm to do this test. What's that, Stubus? Unless Russ said what? Oh, you mean this what I'm doing now? Oh, it's actually saved on a local file anyway, what I'm doing right now. It's recorded in a standalone MP4 file or something. But I to be honest, I'm not going to upload it anyway. It's too long. 3 hours. Oh my god. Well, it looks like my fast forward is completely cured. So I'm happy. It's not skidding, and I'm going to stop it because it's going to run off. Oh, damn it. That's too slow. Too slow. I'll wind it back a bit. Basically, I just wanted to make sure that the fast forward and rewind is all good. And it looks good so far. Just some issues with my brakes. When I press the stop button, it's not stopping fast enough, but I think that's because they're a bit waxy. They haven't been used for a while. Let's try stopping it and starting it again. That was alright for rewind. Let's try fast forward it again. Stop. Oh, look at that. See my brakes, and I can't quite come in on fast enough. You gotta watch out for that. Anyway, no worries. I'll just keep an eye out when I'm pressing stop, that's all. Your tape can end up on the floor if the brakes don't come on fast enough. I want to try that again actually. Fast forward and brake and stop. No, about the same. Oh, maybe not as much as before. A little bit, well. Yeah, I'm going to have to sort that brake out. Not now, but it's not a big issue. Still cold, it's not warm yet. Yeah, I'm going to kill the stream in a minute, otherwise otherwise it's going to reset itself, and I don't want to restart another screen. So in about 5 minutes I'm going to stop it, and I'm not going to save it on the live stream because the live stream's down at the moment, so it won't get saved on there anyway, I don't think. I think my tests are pretty much concluded. I remember years ago we often used to get tapes that were twisted back to front where the actual oxide was only one side, and people would think the tape was faulty and they would give it to you, like, and then you'd find out and then you'd swap the tape round and it's fine, recorded and played back fine. Some people just did not know that. And we get ready to press the stop, and hopefully the brake on this end is going to be fine. Yes! Brake on this one is fine. It's just on the fast forward. Yeah. Because that's the red leading. Right, that's it. Oh.